Snow, mountains, postcard-perfect lakes. Sure, that's the Canada everyone pictures. But scratch beneath that surface and you'll find something bigger. A country that consistently lands near the top of every best place to live list on the planet. And here's the thing most people don't realize until they actually dig in. Canada isn't one single experience. It's 10 completely different worlds stitched together under one flag. Each province has its own personality, its own economy, its own rhythm of life. Some are built for ambition and fast careers, the kind of place where you clock in at a downtown office tower before the sun's even fully up. Others are built for quiet mornings and slower afternoons, where the biggest event of the day might be a walk along the coast. Some are perfect if you're a student chasing a degree, others if you're an entrepreneur chasing an opportunity, and others still if you just want a fresh start somewhere peaceful, far from the noise of a big city. And that's really the point most Move to Canada videos miss. They treat the whole country like a single package deal, when really it's more like 10 separate countries wearing the same passport. So today we're doing something actually useful instead of just showing you pretty drone footage. We're ranking Canada's provinces from good to absolutely best, walking through the real pros and the real cons of each one, the honest stuff, not just the highlight reel, so that by the end of this video you'll actually know which province fits your life, your goals, and your budget. No fluff, just what you need to make a real decision. Let's get into it, starting from the bottom and working our way up to the very best. Starting at number 10, Newfoundland and Labrador. Picture this for a second. You open your curtains in the morning and instead of buildings and traffic, you're looking at green cliffs rolling down into open ocean, and if you're lucky, a whale glides by right on cue. That's not a scene from a travel commercial. That's just a regular Tuesday in Newfoundland and Labrador, one of the most beautiful, most underrated corners of the entire country. For some reason, this province rarely gets the spotlight it deserves, even though it offers something genuinely rare: peace, raw nature, and real opportunity for anyone willing to start fresh. The landscape here feels almost hand-painted, endless coastline hugging the Atlantic, green mountains rolling into the distance, waterfalls tucked into the hills. Time it right during the year and you might spot massive whales cutting through the water, or icebergs drifting past so close it feels like a movie set. If you're making a bucket list, jot down Gros Morne National Park, one of the most breathtaking natural parks anywhere in the world, with cliffs and fjords that look like something out of Norway rather than eastern Canada. Signal Hill, a historic lookout with sweeping ocean views and a story stretching back centuries. And Cape Spear, the easternmost point on the entire North American continent, meaning it's literally the first place on the mainland where the sun rises each day, which is a strangely poetic thing to witness in person. And no, this isn't some tiny fishing village with nothing going on. It's a real province with real cities, real universities, and real careers, just wrapped in scenery that most people only ever see in a screensaver. Now let's talk practicalities, because that's what actually matters when you're deciding where to build a life. The cost of living here is noticeably lower than most of Canada, which makes getting settled a whole lot less stressful, especially if you're arriving with limited savings and trying to find your feet. Education is strong too. The universities are respected, and tuition is more affordable than what you'd pay at comparable schools elsewhere in the country, without sacrificing the quality of the degree. Healthcare, like everywhere in Canada, is excellent, and Newfoundland's hospitals and public medical services give families a real sense of security. But here's the detail that changes everything. Because the population is relatively small, there's genuine demand for workers. Less competition, more room for you specifically to find your footing. The strongest job markets right now sit in healthcare, fishing, transportation and logistics, education, energy, and construction. In terms of numbers, the average monthly income per person lands around $4,000 Canadian, monthly living costs without rent come in near $1,500 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment typically rents for somewhere between $1,000 and $1,300 Canadian a month. Number 9, Manitoba. This is one of those provinces that quietly has the power to completely change your trajectory, not because it's flashy or famous, but because, frankly, it's a smart move. Manitoba doesn't shout for attention. Its beauty is the quiet kind: sprawling forests, more than 100,000 lakes scattered across the province, and skies clear enough that the northern lights show up like they're putting on a private performance just for you. There's something almost meditative about a place with this much open water and this little noise. Top spots worth knowing: Churchill, globally known as the polar bear capital of the world and one of the best places anywhere to catch the aurora, drawing photographers and wildlife lovers from every continent. Riding Mountain National Park, ideal if you want silence and wildlife in equal measure, from grazing bison herds to quiet hiking trails. And the Forks in Winnipeg, the buzzing heart of the city, packed with restaurants, markets, and things to do all year long even when the temperature drops well below freezing. And yes, Winnipeg itself has grown into a genuinely underrated little city, walkable, friendly, and full of surprises if you actually give it a chance instead of just passing through. Living costs here are clearly friendlier than in Canada's bigger cities. Rent is cheaper and everyday life feels less financially tight, which matters a lot more than people realize once the bills start adding up. Manitoba is also one of the most immigrant-friendly provinces in the country, with strong programs designed to bring newcomers in, and steady demand for workers in transportation, agriculture, healthcare, and general services. If school is on your mind, the universities here are genuinely good, and tuition is reasonable compared to national averages, a real advantage if you're budgeting carefully. Healthcare is, once again, part of that broader, excellent Canadian system, meaning solid hospitals and dependable medical services for you and your family. The catch: winter here doesn't play around, temperatures can plunge to extremes. But locals have this down to a science. Life stays organized, infrastructure is built for it, and people simply adapt. Average monthly income per person sits around $3,600 Canadian. Monthly living costs without rent are roughly $1,400 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment will typically run you between $1,200 and $1,400 Canadian. Number 8, Saskatchewan. Genuinely one of the most overlooked provinces in the entire country, and that's exactly what makes it a hidden goldmine of opportunity. The landscape couldn't be more different from the coastal provinces. Wide open plains, a sky that feels impossibly vast, and golden fields stretching all the way to the horizon. That's precisely why locals nicknamed it the Land of Living Skies. Highlights include Prince Albert National Park, the perfect antidote to a stressful week, Grasslands National Park, one of the rarest landscapes in Canada, all raw wilderness and jaw-dropping starlit skies, and Wanisquin Heritage Park, which honors and showcases Indigenous culture and history. It's the kind of place where the horizon actually means something, where you can drive for an hour and barely see another car, which sounds boring to some people and sounds like paradise to others. On the practical side, Saskatchewan boasts some of the lowest living costs in the entire country, and rent is noticeably cheaper than in most other provinces, which honestly makes it one of the easiest places to actually save money while you're getting established. There's real demand for workers in agriculture, mining, transportation, and services. Universities here run strong academic programs, and the healthcare system, including its public hospitals, is dependable and well-regarded. The trade-offs? Winters are just as brutal as Manitoba's, and the pace of life is slow and quiet, not the right fit if you thrive on crowds and constant motion. Average monthly income per person comes in around $3,700 Canadian, monthly costs without rent hover near $1,500 Canadian, and one-bedroom rentals run between $1,200 and $1,500 Canadian. Number 7, Prince Edward Island. A tiny island with colorful houses, ocean views wrapped around every corner, and a slower, simpler kind of life that feels straight out of a film. It's the smallest province in Canada, but don't let the size fool you. Plenty of people dream of exactly this life. The island itself looks almost painted. Red sand beaches, green farmland, cheerful little houses, and water on every side. Must-see spots include Green Gables Heritage Place, the real-life home behind the story that became a worldwide literary classic and still draws fans from around the globe. Prince Edward Island National Park, perfect for slowing down, walking the dunes, and unwinding, and the massive Confederation Bridge stretching nearly 13 kilometers, which physically links the island back to mainland Canada. It's the kind of place where everyone genuinely knows their neighbors, and where the biggest decision of your day might just be which beach to visit. Life on PEI is simpler, quieter, and noticeably cheaper, especially when it comes to rent, which is a huge relief if you're coming from a bigger, pricier city. Job opportunities cluster around tourism, agriculture, and general services. Education-wise, the universities are solid, making it an appealing, budget-friendly option for students. Healthcare is safe and reliable too. The one honest downside, because the province is so small, services can feel a bit more limited compared to big cities, which is simply the natural trade-off of island life. Average monthly income per person is roughly $3,500 Canadian, monthly living costs without rent land around $1,400 Canadian, and one-bedroom apartments typically run between $1,200 and $1,500 Canadian. Number 6, New Brunswick. Imagine settling into a peaceful province wrapped around the Atlantic coastline, known worldwide for one truly wild natural phenomenon. That's New Brunswick. The scenery here is genuinely extraordinary, coastlines stretching endlessly, dense forests, rivers cutting beautifully through the land. But the real showstopper is the tide. The Bay of Fundy holds some of the highest tidal ranges anywhere on Earth. Walk on the ocean floor in the morning, and roughly 6 hours later that exact same spot is submerged under deep water. Then there's Hopewell Rocks with its bizarre, sculpted formations that appear and vanish depending on the tide. You can literally kayak over the same rocks you walked beneath just hours earlier. And Fundy National Park, thick with forest trails and waterfalls tucked away from the crowds. It's the kind of natural spectacle you'd expect to pay admission for, except it just happens twice a day, every single day whether anyone's watching or not. Job opportunities lean toward healthcare, general services, and skilled technical roles, and while it may not be the flashiest province on this list, it's a genuinely comfortable place to settle down. Universities here are solid, education standards are strong, and costs run lower than in Canada's bigger cities. Healthcare is safe and reliable, though, as with any smaller province, services can be a touch thinner than what you'd find in a major metro area. Average monthly income per person is around $3,500 Canadian, monthly costs without rent land near $1,300 Canadian, and one-bedroom rentals fall between $1,100 and $1,500 Canadian. Quick pause. If you've made it this far into the video, do me a favor and hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Alright, let's keep going. Number 5. Nova Scotia. Nova Scotia manages to pull off something genuinely rare. It blends peaceful nature with real city energy, which makes it a smart pick if you want balance instead of extremes. The entire province is a peninsula, so the ocean is essentially wrapped around you no matter where you stand. Long coastlines, dramatic rocky cliffs, and sunsets that stop you mid-sentence. Top attractions include the Cabot Trail, consistently ranked among the most beautiful coastal drives on the planet, winding along cliffs that drop straight into the Atlantic, Peggy's Cove, a postcard-perfect fishing village with its iconic lighthouse standing guard over the waves, and Cape Breton Highlands National Park, all sweeping, rugged wilderness that feels untouched by time. It's coastal living without feeling completely cut off from civilization, which honestly is a harder balance to strike than it sounds. Living costs here are lower than in many other provinces, yet the place still has more energy and life than a lot of the quieter regions on this list. Proof that peaceful and lively aren't always opposites. Job opportunities show up mainly in healthcare, education, and services, and the universities here are strong. A great option if you're a student. Healthcare is safe and dependable, mirroring the quality found across the rest of the country. Average monthly income per person sits around $4,000 Canadian. Monthly living costs without rent are close to $1,400 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment will typically cost between $1,700 and $2,000 Canadian. Number 4. Quebec. Quebec is easily one of the most powerful, most distinctive provinces in the entire country. Honestly, it feels almost like stepping into a different nation altogether. What sets it apart? Mainly the language, French, and a cultural identity that leans much closer to Europe than to the rest of North America. Historic architecture, cobblestone streets, and a lived-in, storybook character run through the whole province. The standout cities are Montreal, a vibrant, youthful hub packed with universities, startups, and job opportunities across nearly every industry, and Quebec City, which genuinely looks like it was lifted straight out of an old European film, cobblestones and all. But Quebec isn't only about its cities. The surrounding nature is spectacular too, with vast forests and rivers and lakes woven throughout the landscape. Don't miss Mont Tremblant, a stunning mountain resort famous for its snowy winters and jaw-dropping autumn colors, and Old Quebec, a historic district deliberately preserved to feel like classic old Europe. Honestly, if you closed your eyes and someone dropped you into Old Quebec, you might genuinely think you'd woken up in France. One major upside: Quebec tends to be more affordable than several other provinces, particularly around rent and everyday expenses, which surprises a lot of people who assume such a culturally rich province must also be an expensive one. Job opportunities are strong across technology, education, healthcare, and services. The education system ranks among the best in Canada, and healthcare is part of the national system, though it does face pressure at times given the province's large population. Here's the honest caveat though: the French language requirement can be a genuine hurdle, and it's often the reason people hesitate or choose a different province entirely. Average monthly income per person is around $4,000 Canadian, monthly costs without rent land near $1,300 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment runs roughly between $1,000 and $1,300 Canadian. Number 3. Alberta. Now picture living in one of the wealthiest provinces in the entire country. a place where high salaries, abundant job opportunities and jaw-dropping mountain and lake scenery all collide. That's Alberta, and it's exactly why it's become one of the top destinations for immigrants chasing a strong, stable start in Canada. The province is anchored by two powerhouse cities: Calgary, a major economic engine with a skyline that's grown up fast over the past couple of decades, and Edmonton, the capital, home to strong universities, solid public services, and steady employment across multiple industries. But what genuinely sets Alberta apart is its nature: towering Rocky Mountains, turquoise rivers, and lakes so vivid they almost look edited. Don't skip Banff National Park, one of the most beautiful destinations on Earth, with mountains and lakes glowing in almost surreal blue, and Jasper National Park, a quieter, wilder escape that's also one of the best places to catch the northern lights. It's rare to find a province that manages to be both an economic powerhouse and this jaw-droppingly scenic at the same time, but Alberta somehow pulls it off. Despite all that wealth, living costs here are actually lower than in several other provinces, which is exactly why so many newcomers treat Alberta as their launching pad in Canada. The job market is powerful, especially in oil and energy, engineering, healthcare, and technology. Universities here rank among the strongest in the country, and the healthcare system is robust and reliable. Average monthly income per person is around $4,300 Canadian, monthly living costs without rent sit near $1,500 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment typically rents for between $1,500 and $2,000 Canadian. Number 2, British Columbia. Try to picture this. You open your window and snow-capped mountains fill the view, a shimmering sea sits right beside them, and a sleek modern skyline rises in between. That's not a fantasy, that's just an ordinary view in British Columbia, one of the most beautiful and wealthiest provinces in the entire country, and honestly, one of the places people dream about living the most. Here, nature isn't just scenery, it's practically a lifestyle: towering mountains, deep green forests, and an endless ocean that turns every single view into something worth photographing. Key landmarks include Stanley Park, widely regarded as one of the most gorgeous urban parks anywhere on the planet; the Capilano Suspension Bridge, suspended deep in the forest canopy for an experience that's equal parts thrilling and beautiful; and Whistler Blackcomb, Canada's most legendary ski resort, an absolute dream for winter sports lovers. The crown jewel city is Vancouver, a genuinely global city loaded with tech companies and a polished, modern lifestyle, the kind of place where mountains and skyscrapers exist in the same postcard, though it comes at a real cost. There's genuinely nowhere else in Canada where you can ski in the morning and walk along the beach that same afternoon. It's that kind of place. British Columbia's economy is powerful, and the standard of living is high, with strong job opportunities across technology, tourism, film, and services, making it a magnet for anyone chasing both career growth and jaw-dropping scenery. The downside is unavoidable. This is one of the most expensive provinces in the entire country, and Vancouver rent in particular can hit hard. Universities here are world-class, and the healthcare system is one of the strongest and most respected in Canada. Average monthly income per person sits around $5,000 Canadian, monthly living costs without rent are close to $1,500 Canadian, and one-bedroom apartments typically rent between $2,200 and $2,700 Canadian. And finally, taking the number 1 spot, Ontario. This is the true beating heart of Canada. The strongest economy, the biggest cities, and honestly, the widest range of job opportunities you'll find anywhere in the entire country. Ontario is the primary economic engine driving Canada forward, and it's the province that welcomes the largest wave of immigrants every single year, all chasing the same thing: a genuinely better shot at life. The province is home to Canada's most important cities: Toronto, the country's largest city and a major global financial center, and Ottawa, the nation's capital, home to the federal government, official institutions, and countless administrative careers. Life in Ontario moves fast. It's busy, diverse, and packed with people from every corner of the globe, walking down streets where you'll hear a dozen different languages within a single city block, which makes sense given that it holds nearly the highest concentration of job opportunities anywhere in the country. The trade-off, unsurprisingly, is cost. This is one of the more expensive provinces to call home, particularly when it comes to rent. Whatever your career path, there's a strong chance Ontario has a version of it, probably several versions, probably in more than one city. Ontario's job market spans almost every industry imaginable: healthcare, education, banking, services, and technology, which is exactly why it keeps pulling in newcomers year after year despite the higher cost of living. The universities here rank among the best in the world, making the province a magnet for students internationally. Healthcare is strong overall, though the sheer size of the population does put occasional strain on the system. Average monthly income per person sits around $5,000 Canadian, monthly living costs without rent land near $1,500 Canadian, and a one-bedroom apartment typically rents for somewhere between $2,000 and $2,500 Canadian. And that wraps it up. Those are Canada's top 10 provinces, ranked from good all the way up to the very best, with an honest look at the real upsides and real trade-offs of each one. The scenery, the salaries, the rent, the winters, all of it laid out so you don't have to guess. Because at the end of the day, there's no single best province for everyone. The best one is simply the one that actually matches what you're looking for, whether that's a quiet coastline, a booming city, or something comfortably in between. Maybe you're drawn to the slower rhythm of the Maritimes, or maybe you want the sheer momentum of Toronto's job market. Maybe you just want cheap rent and clear skies. Whatever it is, hopefully this video gave you a real starting point instead of just another highlight reel. Before you go, drop a like, hit subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss what's coming next. If you've got questions about a specific province, drop them in the comments. I read every single one. Until then, take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next video.